Get some defrost going on in here. We're fogging up. We're just coming into Toledo, Ohio. I started the live stream a little late, mainly because I could not get my new 360 camera to go live properly. But we're actually just getting ready to pass the Toledo Assembly Complex. So where the Jeep Gladiator and the Wrangler are built, and soon, very, very soon, the Ram midsize pickup. So I just stopped, filled up, and I got 319 miles to go until I reach Buc-ee's in Richmond, Kentucky, and then I'm 2 hours after that for my destination. But I'm trying to fight this snowstorm that's coming in. There's a snowstorm that's slowly working its way across Michigan and upper part of Ohio and Indiana. So I'm trying to get as much distance south as I can, because this is really heavy, thick, wet snow. The Toledo Assembly Complex is right here on our right. As we cross this right here. Windshield's fogging up really bad. So when I got out in the car this morning, it was 22 degrees. It's 30 degrees now, but now it's snowing hard. So the Toledo Assembly Complex is right to our right now. If you look over to the right side of the screen, you'll probably be able to see it. So we're getting into the snowstorm. You can barely see the building. That's the Toledo Assembly Complex where the Jeep Wrangler and Gladiator and Ram midsize truck will be built. But massive plant, almost 5 million square foot. I got another 4.5 hours until I reach Buc-ee's. I figured I'd reach Buc-ee's right at noon if I don't stop. And then from there, I got another 2-hour drive after that. So I should make it to my hotel in Tennessee probably around the time that I can check in. So, but I'm glad I left early this morning. I left about 5:30 this morning. I've been kind of I just went to the Pilot gas station, filled up, and took a pee break, and grabbed a Red Bull, sugar-free Red Bull, to get myself going. But this, the snow is actually coming down hard. The sun's just starting to come up, so it's actually nice because I can actually see the lines on the road. Probably about 20 minutes ago, I couldn't even see that. It was bad. Cars were doing about 50 miles an hour on the highway because you couldn't see nothing. But the roads are getting kind of slippery right now. But that's alright. I just had, a few months ago, I put on Discovery, Cooper Discovery all-terrains on this thing. And it handles in the snow no problem. Really slick through here, holy smokes. You can see everybody's going ultra slow. I'm going under the speed limit and I'm catching up to everybody. It's really slick out. So I'm glad I left a lot early this morning. The good thing is I have to take I-75 all the way down, so it's not like I don't have a good road to take. I'm just glad I didn't bring my Charger Daytona, because I would have had to stop and stop and stop and stop to charge. I would have loved to bring that car down, but to me, I just wanted to get down there, and especially when I seen that it was going to snow. But I'm going to be fighting, trying to get past this little. This is just the start of this storm. It's really started accumulating probably within the last 15 minutes. The snow wasn't even on the ground 15 minutes ago. It was just like flurries, and then all of a sudden these big snowflakes come out of nowhere. But I'm going to have to try to get probably halfway through Ohio before I get away from this storm. But yeah, we're in Toledo, Ohio right now. It's funny because going to Tennessee, I've never been to Tennessee. I've been to Kentucky before, but never Tennessee. And I looked at the weather, and yesterday's weather down there was 62 degrees. And here, in Detroit, it was like, I don't know, 38, 42, somewhere in there. So I was like, oh man, it's gonna be nice. And then I looked at the weather report, and the full day that I'm spending down there is it's supposed to snow. Just my luck. Come on, dude, get over. One thing I will say is I really like these Cooper Discovery all-terrains. These are good tires. I haven't had Cooper Discovery, or I haven't had any kind of Cooper tires since I was in high school. And these were a good deal, and they have a 60,000 mile rating, so I was like, okay, I'll go with these. They're quiet. Been really impressed with them so far. Oh shoot, we got a cop up here. Get over. Oh no, we're over. What the heck is going on? Oh, somebody. There's cops on the other side of the road and this part too. Huh. Whoa. It's getting a little slick out there, holy smokes. We're just crossing the Maumee River right here. Downtown Toledo's to our left. Big casino is right over here on our right. Hollywood Casino. But literally, these big giant snowflakes, you can see the signs and stuff are already covered. This just started like this maybe like 20 minutes ago, if that. Thing is, once I get south of the storm, it's rain, which I don't mind. I mean, that's fine. I actually don't mind driving in the snow. It's just like I worry about everybody else, because everybody else freaks out about driving in snow and don't know. They always act like it's their first time driving in snow. Growing up in Michigan, you're usually used to driving in snow, but everybody acts kind of weird when it's the first actual snowfall. So yeah, I got 308 miles to go to my first official stop. We're gonna stop at Buc-ee's at Richmond, Kentucky, get a lunch, and then I got 2 hours after that to go to. I'm going to Knoxville, Tennessee. Wore a hoodie in the car today thinking like, oh hey, it's gonna be freaking cold. It was bitter out this morning, and funny thing is I'm sweating my butt off now. Should have taken it off back at the truck stop. Good old Ohio Turnpike. broke down car. Mercedes too. Good old Waffle House. We don't have those in Michigan. Funny going south and you see signs for places that are north of you, back where I came from. Ooh, a little slick. Funny thing is there's like nobody on the road right now. There's a couple cars behind me, but that's about it. So I'm getting all the accumulation of snow in the lane here. There's a couple people catching up, but I'm just taking my time. I'm actually doing the speed limit, so there's a lot of people who are driving like 10, 15 miles an hour under, but I'm just glad it's daylight out. It's hard, really hard when the snow started coming down. About 20 minutes ago when it was dark out, it was really hard to see. The good news is that I really don't have to be into Tennessee at my hotel until really about 6 o'clock. But I'd like to get there and kind of relax a little bit before I have dinner plans. So, oh, there's a plow truck out already. Funny, I always laugh because Ohio's pretty boring to drive through because it's, you know, mostly farm country along here. Well, today you don't really see anything. It's just a white, like whiteout, just a white haze. You don't even see the fields. Really nothing to look at. So it says here we're 193 miles from Cincinnati and we're 652 miles from Atlanta. Holy smokes, that got bright all of a sudden. Trying to pass this guy here. This one guy in the Toyota, man, he's hauling ass. It's Lexus up here. This is like really wet, thick snow. It's like good packing snow. It's weird, like a few minutes ago I was like, holy smokes, it got bright out all of a sudden. It's like now that the sun's up, you can't see anything in the sky, it's just a white out, but all of a sudden it's like everything's just white, and it's like somebody turned on a light switch. It kind of looks dark for you guys for some reason, because I think through the windshield, and it's kind of fogging up, but went from having like pitch black about 25 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, to being bright as can be. We got a motorhome up here, something like that. No, it's a truck pulling a trailer. It's like a motorhome pulling a enclosed car hauler or something. See if I can get you guys a little more focused here. There you go. It looks like the camera's out of focus, but it's not. It's that snowy. It's snowing hard out right now. I got 297 miles to my stop, so I'm hoping within the next 100 miles or so we'll start getting out of this storm. Like I said, this is the beginning of a big snowstorm that's coming through the Midwest. It just started right about maybe the last, I don't know, 10 miles of when I was inside Michigan. I stopped in Toledo and got fuel. Guys is hauling butt. But stopped and got fuel, and I went to go put my 360 camera on, and for some reason it just wouldn't connect, so I was like, whatever, I'll put my cell phone up. But I'm glad I left early this morning. So I've been on the road since 5:30, so I've been on the road for like 2 hours. I'm just south of Toledo, Ohio, so. There's another fellow Michigander. We are 1,103 miles away from Tampa. Nice. Now we're starting to catch up to a whole bunch of traffic up here. Everybody's driving like 15 under, which doesn't bother me. It's fine, but it's funny because I can see the cars. You guys can't because you're so far away. I mean, I can zoom in a little bit. I could probably pinch zoom, maybe a little bit. I don't know how good that is for you guys, but they're probably maybe 8-10 car lengths in front of me, and I can barely see them. That's how whited out it is up here. It's not snowing as bad as what it was. Like, the flakes are kind of small now, but they were huge. That's where all this accumulation came from so quick. Well, this snowstorm goes all the way back to Indiana, so. Like I said, I was looking at radar just a few minutes ago, and it showed that I should be out of this stuff about halfway through the state of Ohio. Everybody's going super slow now. Come on, that's your guy from Jersey. We're in the middle lane and there's like 10 cars in front of me and they're all going super, super slow. It's funny, this group is like doing like 40, and they do 60, then they do 40, and then they do 60. There's Bowling Green State University to our right. Their football stadium's massive over here. You can barely even see it because it's so, Jesus. You can barely even see it because it's so whited out. freaking truck that's in the fast lane. He's like all over the place. He was like right up against the white line. Funny, when you come to different states, you realize how bad Michigan roads are. We always complain about our roads, and they are awful. But somebody spun out. Somebody spun out on the other side of the highway here. Acura coming on the highway. It's funny because like our roads are freaking terrible in Michigan. They're all falling apart nonstop. Down here, they blacktop all the roads, so it's a little slicker, but their roads are freaking pretty nice. We usually have concrete roads everywhere, and then what they do is, after about 6 months of having the roads done, they'll take and go cut sections out of them, and they'll be like, oh, we're checking the rebar. Oh, that's stupid, because then you, every like 10 feet, you got humps, so it's like doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. But, also, like, Michigan just is full of trash on the side of the road. I mean, down here, there's still quite a bit of trash, but mostly it's car, like, bumpers and stuff. By our place, man, it's always, like, Detroit especially, it's just covered with garbage. People just throw their stuff out on the highway. Now the road's just like cleared up. They're not that bad. It's funny, the snow is hardly accumulated down here. It's like all of a sudden you hit a wall. There's barely a dusting down here. Let's see if I can zoom you guys out a little bit so you guys can see. Funny how that stuff happens. Like literally, I mean, it was like probably an inch of snow to nothing. There's hardly anything on the ground. It's just a dusting over here. It's good though. We'll pick up some time. "21 miles from Findlay." At least now we can see the fields. I couldn't even see the fields a few seconds ago. Nice thing is the roads are nice now. I mean, they're wet, but they're nice. I can just hit cruise and enjoy, sit back and relax a little bit. funny what a couple of miles does, like, differently. Just went through that heavy snow, and then now it's like just wet. Kind of bummed out. I wish I would have been. Wish I was home right now with the. I can take my Charger Daytona out in the snow. I've been waiting to take that car out in the snow and see how it does. Have some fun with it. Nice houses over here on the right. They're like model houses. It's like a building company with their models. Oh, it's Shoemaker Homes. Nice. Super nice. I forgot to reset my my fuel economy. It's funny, like, this says that I'm getting about 18 miles a gallon right now on the highway doing 72 miles an hour. This 5.7, it's about 21 with this Durango, doing about 75. It's not too bad. I'll tell you what was killer was my 2018 Durango GT all-wheel drive with the Pentastar. That thing got really good mileage. We took it out to Wyoming. We went to South Dakota and up to Wyoming, and that thing got almost 28 miles a gallon. And that was fully loaded with two kids, 3 adults. So that was a lot of fun. I want to go back to the Black Hills again. That was a lot of fun being out there. We were out there. It was right. It was right around COVID time. It was right after COVID. We went out there for the 4th of July weekend, and of course, at the time, the government canceled the fireworks out there because they were disagreeing with the state and their COVID regulations and everything. So we didn't get. We went to Mount Rushmore, but we actually went on the day that the fireworks would have happened. But unfortunately, they didn't But we ended up going to this little town near there and watched them shoot fireworks off on the hill, and it was really cool. Black Hills are absolutely gorgeous. Fuel Mart. Never heard of it. Gas is about 30 cents cheaper down here than it is in Michigan. We got the second highest gas taxes in the country. Go figure. I actually seen some gas in Allen Park, Michigan at $2.75, which is a little cheaper than here, but there's only like 2 stations that were battling each other out. Oh, there goes all the snow off the front of the car. They have a lot of home builders down here. They have all these setups right along the highway. 2 nice model homes. Too bad this trip wasn't like 2 weeks ago. It would have been nice to see all the colors. Everything's starting to brown and lose its leaves now. Tomorrow should be a lot of fun though. Really nice pilot station right there. Looks like a brand new pilot. Doesn't look like the older pilot stations. Looks like a modern, very modern one. We're only 7 miles from Findlay, so 110 from Dayton. If I had more time, I would love to stop at Wright-Patterson again. I haven't been there since, since I was probably about 13 years old. I would love to go see the museum again. got this mist right now. I know you guys keep losing focus every once in a while, but it's like a mist. If I put my windshield wipers on, there's not enough wetness to keep the windshield wipers from getting dragged. Probably got to be clean too. One thing about Findlay is they always have like really nice exits to get off at. They're just redoing that one. They just hydro-seeded it. But like up here, they'll have like a really nice they got a really nice overpass with it, but it's all spelled out and stuff. It looks really nice. Even their sound barrier walls say City of Findlay on them. It's pretty cool. Noisy road, holy smokes. There we go, Flag City, USA. This is the overpass that I was talking about. I'm going in the opposite way. There was a crazy police chase that wound up through here about a year ago. There's a guy who carjacked two people in, I think, Monroe, Michigan. Stole, I think it was an F-150. He went on a high-speed pursuit, and he had Michigan State Police and Ohio State Police going after him. He got off at that exit, and it was about 2 miles from here, and they ended up getting him. He went through a ditch and lost control, and they had a standoff with him, but he ended up killing somebody to steal their truck while they walked into a party store. It was pretty sad. But the police chase is pretty remarkable. They had like 8 different agencies, and usually if they cross, they won't let other agencies cross the border of another state, but Ohio let Michigan State Police come in and chase them. You can go on YouTube and watch that video. It's pretty cool. The funny thing was, if I remember right, the MSP, the Michigan State Police car that was pursuing them, they got out of their distance for their radio, and they had to relay information to an Ohio dispatcher. So it was a little different. There's a sign you don't see every day. Fireworks and Moccasin Shop. Turn the heat down more. I got like a 2008 Dodge Grand Caravan riding my ass for like the last 5 miles. He was like probably within a half a car length between me and him. I don't know if he's trying to like get better fuel economy or what. But I'm actually going over the speed limit a little bit, and he's still right up on me. It's like, dude, don't tailgate me, just go around me. temperature wise, since we got out of that little snowstorm, it's gone up like 6 degrees. Pretty drive through here. I guess I could turn you guys a little bit to the side so you guys can kind of see. Let's see here. Oh, it's not gonna let me turn it without taking it down. I'll have to adjust it in a little bit. Like I said, I wish it was like 2 weeks ago when the colors were really vivid. This drive would have been nice. One thing about Ohio, like I said, it's very pretty, like, you know, you get to see all the different farms and stuff, but it's very boring to drive through. There isn't a whole lot of stuff going on. It is a pretty state, though. Ohio Northern University. It's a nice little campground with a lake over there. Oh, whoops. It's a cool place. Hoping the weather holds out for tomorrow. It's going to be a fun drive tomorrow, but they said there's possible chances of snow, and there was like a 70% chance of snow. It's not that I wouldn't like to drive in the snow, but I would like to actually have good weather so I can shoot some really good video. I bought a bunch of new 360 cameras and stuff. I want to try out. Hey Paul, how's it going, man? I'm doing all right. Just heading to Tennessee, man. I'm in the middle of Ohio right now. So I've been on the road since probably like almost what? About 3 hours now? Something like that. Not even. Yeah, about 3 hours. Almost 3 hours. I left about 5:30 and it's about 8:20 right now. So hopefully you're having a good morning, man. Went through a snowstorm already, and now it's funny because it just like disappeared. And then now it's just wet. But I'll deal with that. I don't really care about the rain. Oh, you're out in California, yeah. Yeah. No, I'm going to Tennessee. Dodge invited me down for an event, so a driving event, so it should be a lot of fun. But instead of flying, the only problem is like when these automakers want you to come down and they want to like have you fly down. Problem is you really don't have time to really enjoy anything. You can just you go somewhere and it's like you're stuck at the hotel. You can't really do nothing. Tomorrow, like, it'll be like an all-day event driving, but like tonight, if I want to go do something, or if I on the way home I want to actually venture out, I can go do something. It's not like I'm stuck being like just carted to an airport and not being able to experience anything. I've never been to Tennessee. I've been to Kentucky. I went to Kentucky actually 2 years ago, and that was the first time I've ever been to Kentucky. We went to Louisville, Kentucky, and Paris, Kentucky, but I had never been anywhere down there. I've been to West Virginia. I've stopped in Charlotte before, Charlotte, North Carolina, on a plane. I never actually got to experience that, but I've never been to Tennessee, so I wanted to drive like the mountains and stuff and see how it was. So I decided, hey, I'm gonna drive down, have some fun. Oh, really? To Texas? That's it? You have to come to Michigan, man. Especially if you like Mopar stuff. You have to come to Woodward Dream Cruise in the month of August. It's one of the biggest car events in the world. It's a lot of freaking fun. That's the one benefit about living in Michigan. Like, I live in where I do. I only live a few blocks off of Woodward, so I'm out on Woodward all the time. But the Dream Cruise is something else. Michigan's got kind of a unique climate because we get hit with snow pretty good in the winter because we're surrounded by the lakes, and then summers are nice, but they're not like scorching hot or anything. So we have a pretty nice climate up there. But right now, going through that snowstorm on the way down, it's like I was hoping it would be nice. Like yesterday, I looked at the weather for where I'm going in Tennessee, and it was like 68 degrees. And I thought, man, that's nice, because yesterday it was like 32, and I looked at it today and it's like a high of 38. So I'm not really changing any temperature going down there, but nonetheless, it should be nice. Just hoping the weather holds out a little bit, because I want to actually do some stuff. I got some new camera equipment and stuff. Oh, your best friend lives in Michigan? Whereabouts in Michigan, man? the van's finally passing me. What was that? Let's see. Yeah, you should come up. It's actually quite fun. You got to kind of plan in advance though, because the hotels and stuff get booked pretty quick. Oh, you can't remember? No, Michigan's a cool state. Like, I don't like our politics by any means, but you can go, like, the lower peninsula is kind of like the busiest spot, but if you go up to the upper peninsula, it's beautiful up there. We have Tequamanon Falls, there's the Mackinac Bridge, you know, there's tons of different cool spots to go up in the UP. Copper Harbor, way up in the UP, in the peninsula. It's, that's a really beautiful spot. But, yeah, and where I was born in Petoskey, Michigan. That's also actually turned out to be like a massive tourist trap kind of area, but it's a lot of fun to drive up there. There's some really good driving roads, especially if you like to motorcycle ride. Some really good motorcycle riding roads up there. So it's just down where I live, it's just all hustle bustle, you know. What's Dearborn like? Well, Ford's headquarters is there. They're actually going to tear down the old headquarters. They have a massive place called Greenfield Village, which is absolutely cool. They took like Thomas Edison's old laboratory from New Jersey, and they moved it there. His Menlo Park, New Jersey laboratory. They have a lot of historical buildings there, so that's like a tourist trap thing. The rest of Dearborn's like kind of been taken over by the Middle Eastern people, and I'm not saying anything bad about them or anything. I'm just saying it's like going over to the Middle East. All the towns all the stores in Arabic. Right now, there's a big thing going on about how they're blowing off like these Sharia sirens for praying in like 5 o'clock in the morning and all this stuff. So it's a different kind of thing. I mean, they have some really cool parks and stuff there. There's actually some really nice little community parks, but downtown Dearborn's like, But the outskirts of Dearborn, there's a lot of cool stuff to do. So like Greenfield Village, the Henry Ford Museum, the Automotive Hall of Fame. There's the Ford actually has one of their proving grounds there. It's all like right next to each other. But there's a lot of cool stuff to do. It's just downtown Dearborn's not too exciting. So, but Dearborn's right on the outskirts of Detroit. Kind of butts up right against Detroit. So you're not that far from Detroit if you want to go downtown. It's kind of funny, Ford's actually getting a new headquarters. GM just moved their headquarters. So they both have got brand new freaking headquarters going into 2026. Yeah, it's been kind of crazy. There was like supposedly there was a terrorist plot that was stopped for Halloween shooting or something. I don't know. I didn't really read too much into it. There's a lot of questions about it, but apparently the place that they were gonna like go after was the town right next to mine, which is kind of scary. So I don't know, man. It's definitely a different area. So Michigan's not a bad place at all. It's just certain spots are kind of like become kind of crazy, and that place has been like that for a while. Dearborn actually was like kind of like I believe there was a lot of Polish there originally, but yeah, things have definitely changed around there. So they got signs across here. This is like a no texting corridor. They have signs that say this could be your last text and all this stuff. They have like a zero exception. They'll bust you if you catch you with a cell phone out or anything in this area. Like they got all these warning signs everywhere. Oh, your friend lives in Grand Rapids? Grand Rapids is nice. Grand Rapids, downtown Grand Rapids is a lot of fun. The outskirts, It's very, like, it's actually quite nice over there. Downtown Grand Rapids is nice. The actual Grand Rapids town's okay, but my aunt lives just north of Grand Rapids in a little town called Rockford, and that town is absolutely gorgeous. It's got like a dam there, a little downtown area. There's a lot of cool things over there. I actually was looking at getting a job over there a long time ago because I used to run long-term care facilities, and I went for a couple interviews over there. The west side of the state, that's considered the Bible Belt, so it's very nice over there. A lot more kickback and relaxed than what we have over by us. Oh yeah, no doubt. Well, yeah, living in California, pretty much anything is probably cheaper for cost of living than out there, man. I feel bad for you guys. I noticed like there's a big flight of people going to Texas and Arizona and Florida. We've kind of had the same thing here. Well, not here, but in Michigan, we've had the same kind of thing. We've had a lot of people leave the state because our cost increases keep going up with the government that we have. We voted down this massive gas tax. Oh shoot, probably like, I want to say 7 years ago. Our governor came in and said she wasn't going to raise taxes when she got elected. First thing she said was she was going to fix the roads, and she said, oh, well, guess what? We don't have any money to fix the roads, so I want to put a bill passed to raise the gas tax. So it was like right behind you guys. And we all said no. It was the biggest shutdown on any bill ever proposed. And it was funny because it was like 99% people voted against it. So what did they do? She ended up pushing it forward anyways. So we have the second highest gas tax in the whole country. It's pretty sad. But matter of fact, having an EV, so I got that Dodge Charger Daytona. She just announced, like, basically what they did was they raised our plates. And I didn't know this. Before I got the EV thing. My plates went from, like, I had a 2023 Chrysler 300C with the 6.4 HEMI in it. My plates a year were like $130 a year. And then all of a sudden, now that I have this EV, because we don't pay gas tax, but yet we pay tax on our electricity bill at home, which makes no sense. She raised our plates up to, so my plates are like $300 a year now. Well, she just announced that that's not enough, so they're raising it up. So my plates are going to be close to $400 a year for registering my car. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, I don't doubt it. Especially, you know, I have to laugh. You talk about cost of living there. How the hell do you afford it with all those freaking die-cast cars, man? Every day I go on your page and there's like, you always have something new. I love your page, by the way, man. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, that mileage tax is a joke. And then they want to like, they want to take and limit how many like classic cars can be driven so many miles a year, which is ridiculous too. I don't know. People got to wake up about that crap. I never understood, and I'm not trying to be political or anything like that, but honestly, I never understood, and this is me ever since I was a kid. One thing I will say is I never understood why people want the government to have more say in their day-to-day lives. You know, taking your money. This whole country was based on, you know, no taxation without representation. And, you know, when they're already taking 30% of our money and they want more and more and more of it, and you look at the cost of living, I don't know how the hell people are going to survive. I really don't. Unless they actually stand up to all these corrupt politicians and stuff. So, that's a cool bridge. People gotta start standing up and actually going out, and I think a lot of people realized that in the last like election was like, hey, we gotta start standing up and whatnot, but there's still enough people out there that I just don't get it. I really don't. I got 2 teenagers, and the funny thing is their biological dad is very left-wing. I wouldn't say very, he's like more like old school Democrat, but I would say he's more left-wing than that. But they both see, it was kind of funny because they both hate the fact that, why the hell does the government take our money if they haven't even got jobs yet? And they're like, why is the government going to take our money from us? I'm like, well, you got to pay taxes and stuff. Then they see, like, because I'm a business owner, they see all the stuff that I have to go through. And then my son's like fearing paying taxes. It's hilarious. Dude, your videos are awesome. You know, thing is like, just keep doing it, because hell, I just hit 10,000 subscribers, and it seemed like it took for it took me. It didn't take as long as what I thought, but it wasn't that bad. Like, to get there, it's just you got to be consistent. You make videos almost every other day, so that's pretty good. You'll get there. Yeah. No, that's just it. I don't even consider myself like a Republican or anything. I'm more of a libertarian. The least amount of government, the better, in my opinion. So, but I've always been more on the conservative side. I just don't want. I want least amount of government as possible. The sad thing is I have a lot of friends who are like, you know, don't tell people about your political stuff and that. And, you know, I try not to be too political, but the thing is like, I really don't care. I am who I am. If you don't like me, tough. You know what I mean? We can all get along. There was a time where it didn't matter what a political affiliation you were, everybody got along, and I don't understand why we can't do that again. Boggles my mind. Seems like nowadays, it's like in the last 15 years, how crazy everything's gotten. And it's sad because, like, after 9/11, everybody was an American. Didn't matter what side of the aisle you were from, didn't matter what race you were from, anything. Everybody got along. We were all Americans. People all loved each other. And then 20 years later, it's all gone to hell. It's sad, you know. Oh, something got redacted. It says message redacted. Apparently YouTube did not like what you said. So, oh, we're getting closer to Dayton. We're 68 miles out from Dayton. I'll tell you what, man, their bridges, their overpasses here are like super ornate for being out in the middle of kind of nowhere. There's a lot of distribution centers, like there's a FedEx one there. There's another one right to my right. But the overpasses, they put a lot of time and design into the overpasses down here. They got all this nice brick and everything. Super pretty through here. Yeah, apparently. That says message redacted on your thing. They do that a lot. They block a lot of things. If you say certain words, they'll actually, like this live stream, if I say certain words and stuff, their AI will pick it up and they will actually start like kicking your live stream down. Not like taking it down, but like making it so it doesn't get out and stuff. Like, look how nice and ornate this bridge is. It's all got like actual tile on the side with designs and stuff. It's kind of cool. The railroad tracks run right alongside the highway here. It's actually a really pretty area right here. Yeah, it seems like down here they pay a lot of attention to their overpasses and stuff. Up in Michigan, we have like very like industrial looking stuff. Nothing's really ornate or anything. It's just like, oh, here's some cement pillars, and we'll put up a railing. Sometimes they'll put like the town's name or something on it, but that's about it. Our infrastructure in Michigan kind of sucks. Our roads are terrible. It's just it's been like that forever. It's been like that probably for like the last 40 years. It seems like no matter where you go in Michigan too, everything's always under construction. I live like right next to a major, like not next to it, but I live like right by a major highway, and it's been shut down for a year and a half now, just because they're completely redoing it. And then you would think because they shut the main highway down that they would keep everything open around it. Nope, they got like 25 different projects going on, and the people that can't ride on the highway got to run on side roads. Well, those are all under construction. So it's like a massive maze. It used to take me about 40 minutes to get up to my dad's house from me. He lives about, I would say about 55 miles from where I live now. And now it takes me about an hour and 20 minutes because you have to take side roads and zigzag. And what's it say? We have a cool bridge on Highway 15. I'll have to check that out. It's a massive shooting center. Holy smokes. The National Aviation Heritage Area. It says you are now entering the National Aviation Heritage Area. So this next town that's coming up here in 6 miles, this is where Neil Armstrong is from. This was Neil Armstrong's hometown. They have a museum here with all his stuff. But this is the area where Neil Armstrong grew up. Don't ask me to say the town because it's like an old Indian name and it's like really complex to say. Wakapita or something. But yes, Neil Armstrong lived right here somewhere, a couple miles from here. At least he grew up from here. So like this is all blacktop. This is really nice and smooth to drive. In Michigan, this would be concrete with sections cut out of it everywhere, falling apart. We'd be like, hitting mid, trying to swerve around potholes. That's why I like going to other states. Like, I can see why people's vehicles last a lot longer in other states. There's a really cool Barnum Mini over there too. It doesn't look like you can get off at the exit here. Wapakoneta. That's where he's from. Wapakoneta. I feel like I'm like in Canada right now because it says the area is speed patrolled by aircraft. That's what they always have when I go over to Canada. Building 2 nice rest areas. Holy smokes. One thing I will say about Ohio is I love the rest areas down here, especially on the Ohio Turnpike. So this would be the exit to go to Neil Armstrong's museum over here. First on the moon. Actually, this would be the exit here. You can see it says first on the moon. Oh, there's a Charlie Kirk billboard over there. It's the first one I've seen. That's pretty cool. Armstrong Air and Space Museum. Only 56 miles from Dayton now. It's not, we're getting there. Still raining halfway decent out here now. I got another 218 miles till we reach Buc-ee's in Richmond, Kentucky. The cool thing is, it says I should get there right before noon, so that's a good thing. That's 6 hours away from my house, so we're already over 3 hours in, so not too bad. And then my drive after that's another 2 hours, Here, I stopped, fuel up, and get lunch at Buc-ee's. Let's see here. Oh yeah, so I didn't even see your thing. Eastbound and Down, loaded up and trucking. I love Smokey and the Bandit. One of the best movies ever. Now, Smokey and the Bandit 3, not one of the best movies ever. It's one of the worst movies ever, but Smokey and the Bandit. I was not a huge fan of Smokey and the Bandit 2, just because I'm not a huge fan of like the whole Dom DeLuise character in that. But it was still a pretty funny movie. But the original was awesome. Buford T. Justice, you know, Jackie Gleason. Everything was ad-libbed in that movie. That's what made it so great. But I love Hal Needham movies. Oh yeah, by far. I don't know how many times in a week I cite lines. Anytime I hear somebody say anything, even close to anything that Jackie Gleason says, I'll say lines from movies all the time. I love Smokey and the Bandit. You want something? Hush puppies, Daddy. We got no time for that crap. Yeah, Jackie Gleason was awesome. Passed away right around the time I was born. But one of my favorite, like I used to love Johnny Carson when I was little. And I'll go back and watch like all the old Carson shows, because now with YouTube and stuff, you can pretty much find anything. And one of the best ones was his, I think it was like early 1984. Like just before he died, he was on the Carson show. Maybe it was 83, but anyways, Gleason was on there, and it was just kind of funny because it's like so different than today's, you know, talk shows and stuff. And he was on there, he's smoking a cigarette, and he's just like super chill, super relaxed, and he's not like the characters that he played, you know. But Jackie Gleason was something else. The Honeymooners, you know, even though that show never really took off until it became a cult classic, that was such a great show in its day. Even was the inspiration kind of for the Ed O'Neill even said it, really, with Married with Children. The Honeymooners was kind of like inspiration to that in a way. But the Honeymooners are great. The Toy, that was another great movie with Jackie Gleason. You might remember that with Richard Pryor and the kid from A Christmas Story. What's his name? My mind's going blank. I'll think of his name and he'll come to me. See, it's always funny because I love like comedies, like dumb comedies. I absolutely love, you know, stuff that's fun. I could care less about like dramas and stuff. To me, we got so much like I hate like crime shows and stuff that much, because it's just like everything is about crime anymore. It's like when I want to watch something, I want to watch something kind of fun. My wife absolutely hates the movies I love. My wife, I love stupid movies. Like, one of my favorite movies, well, my favorite movie of all time is A Christmas Story, okay? I love A Christmas Story. I don't watch it purposely so I can watch as much of a 24 hours of A Christmas Story as I can every year. That's my favorite movie. Even like right now, we got our Christmas tree up, but all year round, in my living room, in the front window, is a full-size leg lamp. And then I would have to say, Airplane, I love airplane hot shots, Naked Gun movies. I do love car movies. Obviously, Smoking the Bandit. Vanishing Point's a great one too. The original Vanishing Point, not the stupid 1990s remake. I hated that remake. But what the heck does this say? Object on road ahead. Oh shit. Yeah, it's still there. So. There was a cow or something that got hit back there. It was black and white. It wasn't a deer. It was like a freaking cow that was hit in the road. Huh. There's a cattle farm back there. I wonder if one got out. Whatever it was annihilated, but it's huge chunks all over the road. But no, I love car movies too. Like Bullet, the movie, like Steve McQueen's Bullet kind of sucked. Like the storyline's boring. The really good part's the car chase part. I would say the best car chase movie of all time, has to be the original Gone in 60 Seconds. Not the Nick Cage Gone in 60 Seconds, which I think is a crap movie. I hate the remake. Absolutely hate it. The one with Angelina Jolie in that, I think that movie is just garbage. The story sucks. That's a terrible movie. The original Gone in 60 Seconds is just an hour and 20-minute car chase movie with like maybe 20 minutes of backstory. That movie was freaking phenomenal. All the old Mopar cop cars in that movie, so awesome. Matter of fact, there's a guy and his wife, they got a brand new, like, they're in a brand new 71 Plymouth Satellite. They're pulling out of the dealership and she's like, oh, let's buy it. And freaking Toby Hillicky, who's driving that Eleanor Mustang, and he freaking comes hauling ass past him, and the cops slam in the back of that car. I believe it was, I think if I remember right, it was a 71 Plymouth Satellite Sebring. It was like the fully loaded Satellite, like the really nice Satellite. It was in like a light blue color. There's another cattle farm right there. But, yeah, I love a lot of car chase movies. If I also remember right, I think there was a 70 or 69 Charger that was like it had to be a 70 Sublime green Charger that got hit by a garbage truck in the one part where the garbage truck's on fire. I've watched the original Gone in 60 Seconds probably, probably 1,500 times. I love that movie. There's a lot of good car movies out there. I'm not so much into like the racing movies. Like I haven't seen the new F1 movie. Driven was terrible. I did like the one with what's his face? I can't think of the stupid name of the movie. I don't know. The one with Chris Hemsworth, and he played James Hunt and Niki Lauda's story. I seen that. That was okay. The Ford versus Ferrari movie was alright. It's very inaccurate. You know, it's one of those movies that made it look better for Hollywood, because Ford the second never got into a Ford GT prototype and started crying. Like, I hate when they do stuff like that. To me, it's like, just make it accurate. Like, I hate, oh, we gotta spruce it up to make it more exciting. It's exciting in its own right. The Italian Job's another good one. Ronan's actually a really good car movie. I'm not a huge Robert De Niro fan, but Ronin was really good. The only problem I had with Ronin was the ending. We never learned what was in the stupid case. That the whole deal of the movie was to protect this ice skating case. What was in it? No one knew what was in it, and you never found out. Like, to me, that was the dumbest part of the movie. but the car chase scenes in that were really good. So, yeah, there's a lot of good movies out there. Le Mans was a good one too. Yeah, Le Mans, that was a good one. Grand Prix was another good one. I love James Garner, so I love James Garner in general. I think he's probably one of my favorite actors of all time. So I love the fact, like, him and Steve McQueen, you know, they actually raced cars and stuff, and like McQueen did almost all of his own stunts and stuff like that. I thought that's cool. So yeah, there's a lot of cool movies out there. I'm just not into like the, oh, you know, it's a murder mystery, it's like true crime crap. I could care less. I want to see something fun, something, you know. I made the wife watch all of the Fast and Furious movies, and it's hilarious because she's like, these are the dumbest freaking movies, and I'm like, yeah. But I said, you know, they're so stupid, they get worse and worse and worse. I said, it's fun just to watch how garbage they are. So we actually went on a date to see the last one, and she's literally like, there's no ending? I'm like, no, they're making another sequel to this. She goes, what the hell? She goes, I just wasted an hour and a half of my time. We're literally talking, and the guy, I told her, I said, no, I said there's supposed to be like 2 more parts. Or no, I told her there was supposed to be another sequel after that. And the guy coming in the theater was like, no, they have 2 additional parts after this. And my wife was going nuts. And then I finally told her, I said, she asked, when are they coming out? Are they coming out like within the next few months? And the guy was like, no, like 3 years from now. Oh my God, my wife blew a freaking conniption fit. And then even better, now they're changing it again. So now it's supposed to go back to its roots. So I don't know how they're gonna, if it's gonna be some dream sequence or whatever. But Fast and Furious movies are the dumbest freaking thing. But that was really the only car movie she will sit through and watch. I'll watch some action movies, like I was a big fan of the Daniel Craig James Bond. I like the original James Bond too. I love Sean Connery and stuff, but and some of Roger Moore's stuff. But I like the Daniel Craig stuff, but that's about as much as like crime solving. I love Batman. Absolutely love Batman. I don't like the Justice League DC stuff. But I like you know, like the Michael Keaton Batman. I didn't care for the Flash too much, but I do like the Batman movies, like the Christian Bale, the Dark Knight series. I was so big into the Dark Knight series, I went and seen the Dark Knight in the theater 15 times, and I think I seen the Dark Knight Rises at least 8 or 9. So when I like a movie, I'll watch it over and over and over and over again. Moonrunners? Yeah, that Moonrunners is the original prequel to Dukes of Hazzard, right? Yeah, Roger Moore. You know what's funny about Roger Moore, we're talking about car movies, is him playing himself in the Cannonball Run. When Roger Moore plays an actor playing himself. He plays a rich guy who has plastic surgery to be Roger Moore. And he drives an Aston Martin. That was a pretty epic role. I love the fact that Roger Moore was never afraid of making fun of himself. I also like Timothy Dalton too. I was not a huge fan. I like Pierce Brosnan, but I was not a huge fan of the Pierce Brosnan Bond movies. Like GoldenEye, I could care less about. The rest of them were just horrible. They got to the point where they were kind of like slapstick. And yeah, the whole point of Bond movies was like back in the 60s and 70s and 80s where He was a womanizer, who's an alcoholic, sexaholic, but, you know, he was, you know, a man of mystery in a way, where he'd always get into like predicaments and solve stuff. And the Pierce Brosnan ones were like all about gadgets and him being like just cool and collective about everything, never being really stressed about much. Yeah, I've seen that before. I love the original Dukes of Hazzard too. I also like the remake of the Dukes of Hazzard with Sean William Scott and Johnny Knoxville. I thought that was a really good movie. The guys from Super Troopers made it. I actually thought that was a really, really good movie. I kind of wish they would have made another one after that. They made a sequel, but it wasn't those guys, and it was terrible. It had Willie Nelson in it, but I just think, like, even though like Burt Reynolds was, you know, J.D. Hogg and all that, his J.D. Hogg was different. It was more serious. But even the guy who played Roscoe, he was way more serious than what Roscoe P. Coltrane was originally. But they did an awesome job with that movie. But I love the original Dukes of Hazzard. So when I was in high school, it was kind of funny because we weren't allowed to leave campus, but we would sneak off of campus every day. And I had, in my junior year, I had fourth hour, like, I had like computer class. I think it was like typing or something. It was actually coding. It was like they were trying to teach us how to do basic coding and stuff. And one of my buddies, who was one of my close friends, was in that class with me. And our teacher was a younger guy who was just like a part-time teacher. He wasn't really like, a full-time teacher. He was only teaching like maybe a couple classes. So anyways, he owned a landscaping business and stuff. So it was kind of funny. He drove a landscaping trailer and stuff to school every day because he'd go out and work after. But anyways, at lunchtime we had fourth hour lunch, which dead center in the middle of our schedule because we had 7 periods. And we eat lunch, which was like right in the middle of the day. So we'd go to class, and then halfway through class we'd be excused for lunch, and we have to come back and finish our class. So the teacher he knew we would skip. We always had a certain way we would leave the parking lot. We had a security guard, this old time guy named Charlie, and we would go and bring him a drink every day. Like, we'd just leave campus, he'd wave to us, and we'd bring him back a drink, like a pop or something, and he never said anything to anybody. So we used to meet our teacher over at Taco Bell across the street from school, and in the Taco Bell, it was funny because right at noon every day, CMT was on, and they would play reruns of the Dukes of Hazzard. So we would sit there with our teacher and watch the Dukes of Hazzard for lunch every day. So, but my dad was a huge Dukes of Hazzard fan growing up and all that. So, I mean, I got into all that stuff. So, but I watched all the reunions, all that fun stuff. Yeah, but that, you know what, that Dukes of Hazzard movie, that sequel to the remake, was not as good. The girl who was playing Daisy wasn't bad looking, but it was a very stupid movie. I would actually say I would rather watch all the Coy Advance Dukes of Hazzards rather than watching that sequel over again. Oh, Her Majesty's Secret Service, yeah, with George Lazenby. Yeah, that was an okay movie. I could never get really into that one. I would have to say my favorite, like, Daniel Craig movie would have to be, it's a toss-up. I would say it would have to be License to Kill with Timothy Dalton. The reason being is that Freightliner did a wheelie. That thing was awesome. I love that whole that was like one of the stupidest sequences, but it was hilarious. And then, like, my favorite Roger Moore movie was the last one he did was A View to a Kill, because Christopher Walken was the bad guy, and I just love the sarcasm in that movie. as for Sean Connery, oh, see, that's the problem. Like Sean Connery, man, he had too many good Bond movies. I don't know. Like, I love like Octopussy. I think that's a great one. I don't know. Goldfinger was another great one. I don't know. I really don't. I can't say I have a favorite Sean Connery Bond because they're just all pretty good. I just love how Sean Connery's whole take on Bond was. Yeah. Yeah, the movies were kind of far-fetched from the books. I've never really read any of the books other than the original Casino Royale, which the TV version was not like it at all. The Daniel Craig version was similar, but was brought up to be more modern. I did like Casino Royale, the movie. I thought the movie with Daniel Craig was awesome. It was epic. I like the fact that he was like a blunt instrument rather than, you know, like all about gadgets and stuff. It was just a different take. It was more a realistic take on. I was not a huge fan of the sequel to that, the Quantum of Solace. I didn't really like that movie too much. But Skyfall was great, and what was the other one? No Time to Die. That was okay. I mean, he died, but it was all right. And then the other one was a Spectre. Spectre was really good too. So I really enjoyed the Daniel Craig ones. But yeah, the Bond movies are good. I just always liked James Bond. Like, I love Sean Connery's kind of like sarcastic, witty, like non-humorous wit. Like, he wasn't even trying to be funny. He was just kind of cool, calm, and collective. But he would say, like, you know, off-the-wall things, just not even meaning them. So, but I did like, I'd have to say before Daniel Craig, I would say my favorite Bond, like, to actually watch the two movies, Living Daylights and License to Kill, was Timothy Dalton, because I always loved Timothy Dalton. I thought he was a great Bond. I think he was probably the most underestimated Bond by far. Hey, we're only 23 miles from Dayton. We're getting there. 78 miles from Cincinnati, so we're actually making pretty good time. The Spy Who Loved Me, that was a good one too, yeah. Diamonds Are Forever, not good. No, that one was terrible. That was the last Pierce Brosnan movie. Thank God. I remember my cousin and I went and seen that in the theater, and that was freaking terrible. It had the guy from Fast and Furious as the bad guy, and he had diamonds in his face. Oh my God. That was so freaking terrible. I don't know. I'd have to say right after GoldenEye, they jumped the shark with the Bond movies. Die Another Day. Yeah, that one was okay. Tomorrow Never Dies. Everything was like dies and tomorrow. I really thought they lost like creative ability, especially it was considering Bond, the Pierce Brosnan Bond was driving BMWs, which was hilarious. They got a bunch of flags up here. They got all the military flags up on the bridge up here. Space Force, Navy, that's pretty cool. almost at Troy, Ohio here. Well, actually, we're in Troy, Ohio, I should say, because the wall, the sound barrier wall says Troy, Ohio on it. I like how they got the American flags hanging up here on the overpass. Oh, that's right. Yes, you're right. How many Bond movies were there? There's been like, what, 26 Bond movies? 27 Bond movies? Something like that? I'm thinking of, what was the last one? Diamonds. What was the last Pierce Brosnan one with the diamonds in it? When they're on the ice? It's freaking terrible. That's the one I was thinking about. That was a terrible, terrible freaking movie. The bad guy's got a Jaguar with some kind of laser in the back. $26, that's what I thought. I knew there was 25 or 26. Paul, if you really like Bond, go on, like a few years ago when they were celebrating the 50th anniversary of Bond. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but like one of the orchestras over in London did a whole like retrospective of all of the theme songs from Bond. They didn't have like the original people singing them. They had like people that actually sounded really, really good, not similar but different. But they had the whole orchestras do a whole concert of all the Bond theme songs, and it was really cool, like really, really cool. So like Goldfinger, you know, they had like you know, Adele's Skyfall, and a little bit of everything. It was pretty awesome. The problem is you can't watch it all on YouTube because of copyright infringement or whatever. But you can see some of the songs, and some of them are really good. Yeah, I'm sure you can go on like Google and search it, and I'm sure it's not on YouTube, like the full thing. But you can go on and see like certain clips and stuff from people that were there. I just don't think they show the whole thing on YouTube because of copyright infringement or something. But it's actually really, really cool. It's really cool seeing like the actual, all the music orchestrated. That's a massive flag over there. It's at half staff, but holy smokes, it's a massive flag. You could probably fit 10 cars underneath that American flag right there. Maybe even more. No, I never knew that. Alice Cooper, huh? Another Michigander. I know at one time Alice Cooper owned more Mustangs. He had the biggest Mustang collection than anybody else. He was a massive Mustang collector. He loves Ford Mustangs. Oh, we're getting back in the rain. Oh, that's a nice senior facility. Holy smokes. That senior facility back there had like equestrian fences, had the name written in stone out in the on a hill behind the place. Super nice. He did the Man with the Golden Gun? Wow. I wonder, can you hear that on like YouTube or anything? Is there an actual like release to it or no? I'll have to check it out. I always liked Alice Cooper. One of my favorite songs from the early 90s. I know Cooper was around for a long time, but one of my favorite songs during the hair band era, at the very end of it, was Poison by Alice Cooper. She's poison. She's poison running through my veins. I absolutely love that song. Well, it's going to start pouring here pretty quick. I can see the rain right in front of me. So Paul, I gotta ask you something while you're on here. Do you just go, how many die-casts do you buy a week? I'm curious. Because it seems like every other day you're opening die-cast cars. And I'm curious because my wife hates it that I buy die-cast cars. Like, I have tons of boxes of cars I've never even opened. I need to get rid of because I did I collect Mopar stuff, but I have like tons of non-Mopar crap that I just need to get rid of. But I see you opening up new die-casts like every other day. So I'm curious. I don't have the car on cruise control. I literally just kept my foot down at the same spot, and I went down that hill. We're doing 92, and now we're coming up this thing. We're losing tons of speed. This is a massive grade going uphill. Oh, we're getting into Dayton. Dayton International Airport. Oh, nice. See, I had to cut down to... I'm going to try to get rid of most of my die-cast cars. I'm trying to collect only a few die-cast. Like, for example, I've gotten every single M2 Dodge truck. So, like, the old D and W series trucks, I collect all those. I've gotten every single one so far. Little Red Express, all the ornaments, all that stuff. And I've tried to do the same with the... here's where I'm going to sound stupid because I'm a Mopar guy, but I started collecting... The M2 stuff I love. I love all the M2 stuff. I'm not a huge Hot Wheels fan anymore. Whatever. But I absolutely love the C1500s, the Sierra 1500s, all that stuff. The Silverados, the 90s, the late 80s, 90s. I have almost all those. I'm only missing 2 of those. And the reason being is because when I was growing up, my dad was always kind of like a Mopar guy. But in '89, he bought a Chevy Scottsdale 1500 regular cab long box, and they actually, when they came out with that series of trucks, they released 6 trucks, and one of them was almost a clone of his truck. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy that. So I got the whole set, and then I was like, oh, then I got to start collecting them, and I'm like obsessed with that because I love that body style of GM truck. So I have all those, and the other ones I've been collecting are the Dodge Challenger funny cars, the 70 Dodge Challenger funny cars from M2. So those are really the only 3 castings I've been like collecting at all. So I got to get rid of. I got probably like 3,000 diecast cars I have to get rid of. Yep, we're finally in Dayton. I like all your videos, man. I love some of your your actual displays and stuff too. How many diecast cars do you think you have? Oh, the R34. The Skylines are cool. I never could get into like Japanese cars though. I just never have. For some of like the actual Hot Wheels like N34 or R34 cars, Nissan, Skylines and stuff, they go for crazy money for what they are. Those NO64 cars are pretty awesome though. I do like their Dodge vans. I think those are cool. I really love the Vipers that they've done. I have, I think, every Viper except for one of them. I think it was, I want to say, the only one I don't have is I have the green one, I have the red one, the ACRs, and I have the commemorative edition, but whatever the other one was, I think it's just, I think it's a gray with a red stripe or something. That's the only other one I don't have. There's 4 of them that they've made so far, and I have 3 of them. Problem is my office isn't that big, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna collect all these things, and I got kind of crazy into it. Like when I was younger, I collected Hot Wheels, and then as I knew I was going to build this office, I'm like, I'm going to start collecting again. And I started collecting and collecting and collecting, and I was like, oh, this would be cool. And then it got to the point where I was like, okay, I don't have any room for any of this stuff, because I have tons of stuff I want to display. Like I have pictures and stuff that I want to have in my office, but my office isn't big enough. And I have 2 displays of loose cars up in the office. I got 3 dioramas on my desk. I have cars pretty much everywhere. I got a whole wall, like a pegboard full of non-open cars. I got a Hot Wheels display sitting next to my I got like a toolbox that I use to hold all my camera gear and stuff, like a massive, like, full-size toolbox. And next to that is a whole Hot Wheels display full of Vipers and Superbirds and stuff like that, and some like limited edition Jeeps and stuff. So I want to get rid of most of the stuff. I should start selling it and get rid of it, because I want to make room in there. I want to like change my office around a little bit. I got all these really cool like actual dealership photos and stuff I want to hang up, but I just don't have room. Man, this road is terrible. It's like wobbly as heck. You're going back and forth between 2 lanes. getting kind of foggy out all of a sudden. You can barely see the skyline of Dayton over here. I don't know if you guys can even see it. The whole skyline of Dayton's like covered with fog. Funny, you have to go back across this river like 3 times because it's snakes. So like right now we're on a little peninsula, and now we're gonna go back across the same river we just got done crossing. Wright Brothers Museum. Now we're starting to see signs for Cincinnati, which is good. One of my close friends is from Cincinnati. Fortunately, my buddy Chris, he passed away going on, what, 2 years ago now? I met Chris through offshore racing. I used to go all over the country and follow offshore racing. Chris owned a company that manufactured and raced boats, and he was a racer himself. And he got me into a lot of stuff that kind of propelled. I had almost like a little bit of a massive hobby going into different races and stuff, and had cameras on race boats and things. And Chris really propelled that. He wanted me to move out to Las Vegas and run his race team for him, and I was like, no, I'm not going to move out to Las Vegas. But he's from Cincinnati. He was from Cincinnati. His family's still from Cincinnati. And his dad owned a tool and die shop that he took over when his dad passed away. But Chris was a great guy. I miss him a lot. Let's see here. Now we're getting out of Dayton, so now I can actually start talking again. You're gonna sell some of your collection? Wife says I have too many. Dude, I have the same problem. I have this exact same problem. So it's not just you. I'm sure there's hundreds of us, if not thousands of us, that our wives disagree with our hobby. I want to go do like one of those trade shows. I got so many cars. I probably have at least 2,000 cars I can sell. On top of that, I have like probably a couple hundred loose ones too. So I should just go do it and make some money on them. Use that money to do something else. Pay off some of my new camera gear or something like that. I would like to like get rid of them and take some of the money and look at getting a project car, an actual car, something really cheap and fun to do. I found a 75 Chrysler Cordoba that would be a fun little project car. We got that 79 Chrysler 300 in my garage, but I would love to put, like, I've been looking, I found this really killer 1979 Chrysler New Yorker, and it's in Spinnaker white. The only problem with the New Yorker is the fact that, like, parts are really hard to find for the R bodies, but the guy has it, like, It's not a Fifth Avenue New Yorker. It's just a New Yorker, and he's got it like on really cool looking like racing wheels. And I don't know if he sold it or not. I think he might have sold it, but he was in Pennsylvania. I was trying to talk my wife into let me buy that when we went to the Chrysler Carlisle Nationals. But I would love to have like a late 70s Chrysler, not like a full-size big boat Chrysler because it wouldn't fit in my garage. But if I could find like a Cordoba or a Magnum or even a Charger, like a 75 to 77 Charger, I would be really, really, really happy with finding something that had, like, you know, didn't need a lot of work, but it was just fun to like tinker with. We got 2 hours 16 minutes to go till I get to Buc-ee's. We're in West Carlton, Ohio. I got 157 miles to go, so not too bad. And then after Buc-ee's, that's in Richmond, Kentucky. And then after Buc-ee's, I got another 2-hour drive to Knoxville, Tennessee. You're more into the classic era? I don't know that, you know, I always liked the 60s, 70s muscle car era, but the problem is the cars are so damn expensive. It doesn't even make it fun anymore. Like, for example, if you want a B-body Charger, just to get a VIN number, like you can get just a chassis that's completely rotted out. There's nothing left of the car. Because every part's available now for that car. All you need is a VIN number plate. People are selling the VIN numbers for like 25 grand. And it could be just like a freaking 318 Charger, and somebody will want 25 grand for it, and it's completely rotted out. To me, it's kind of like ridiculous. I would love to find, like, if I could find, there's a couple things I've been looking at. I've been kind of going back and forth. Ultimately, if I was going to buy like a third car, like another project car or fun car, I've been looking at late 70s Mopars, B-bodies and R-bodies, because those cars are super cheap. You can get one for under 10 grand with low miles. Somebody took really good care of it. The other thing I've been looking at is early 2000s Pontiac Trans Am WS6 cars with T-tops. I wouldn't mind having a LS1, like 2001, 2002, even a 2000 Trans Am WS6. I always liked that package. And my wife loves convertibles, but I would want a T-top car. But I don't know. I would love to find something that's late 70s, even early 80s. I mean, I looked at a whole bunch of like Muratas and stuff like that. I'm just not a huge fan of the Murata. A Chrysler Imperial, 81 Chrysler Imperial, 81, 82, 83 Chrysler Imperial would be kind of cool. But those are really hard to find that are in good shape. So we'll see. I gotta get rid of all those diecast cars first, though. I still gotta get rid of my motorcycle. I got a motorcycle I've had since new, a 2005 Kawasaki KLR 650. I haven't rode it in like 6 years, 7 years. Thing's in pretty damn good shape too, low miles. I haven't got rid. I need to get rid of that too. I just got to make room for all this stuff. Oh, 70 GTX would be cool, man. You know, everybody likes the Roadrunner because of the horn and everything, but the GTX is where it's at. Fully loaded, luxury coupe version of the Satellite. A Dodge Nitro. You know what the funny thing is the Dodge Nitro is something else. It's just a Jeep Liberty basically, but Ralph Shields actually designed that. That was his baby. They just didn't hold up that well, and it was like right at the era where the 3.7 was a crap motor. Yeah, it was a 4.7 with 2 cylinders lopped off, but just it was so underpowered, it was ridiculous. And then on top of it, you had the 4-liter V6, which looked promising at the time, but had problems. And then you had that stupid godforsaken plastic interior, which was just freaking terrible. There were a couple of cool ideas with the thing. I like the sliding rear cargo tray that you could, with basically, if you couldn't, you didn't have to reach in to get anything, you could just pull it out. There was a lot of things they could have done better on the Nitro. I actually have to say I like the Liberty better, the KK Liberty, than the actual Nitro. I really wish they would have built that Dodge M80 concept, that pickup truck version of what became the Nitro. Yeah, dude, B-bodies have just become so stupid expensive, it's ridiculous. Well, that's cool. This guy's got a Massey Ferguson next to me with this Ram right here pulling. He's from Cass City, Michigan, so he's like right from by where I live, a little bit north of me. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of different cars out there. I feel like I get into like a mood. Like I also looked at, like, I would love to find like a Rumblebee, like a 2005, 2004 Rumblebee. That's in low miles, but those trucks are going for big money too, like $20,000, $25,000. I actually looked at buying a Rumblebee in Ohio about a year ago, and it was in pretty decent shape. It had low miles on it. It was 4x4. The only problem was there was a rust spot on the box, and the problem with the old DR Rams is once the boxes get rusted or it gets like start showing rust underneath the paint, it's screwed, because as soon as it touches Michigan salt, boom, the whole box will rot out on it. And it's hard to find boxes for those trucks now. So that's why I didn't go and get it. They were actually offering not that bad of a deal on it either. AMC cars, no, you don't. There's actually, you know, I always like the AMC Eagles and the Spirits especially. But you know, there's the GT and stuff like that. There's a lot of cool ones out there, but you don't see many of them that are restored. There's quite a few. It's funny because you find quite a few Pacers out there because they had so many of them, but they're all like resto modded into like V8s and stuff. I don't know. A Gremlin's cool and that, but just not my style. I like the old Javelins. It's funny because, like, growing up, I never liked the 71 and newer Javelins. Never liked them. I really loved, like, the 70 Javelin and AMX. I thought those were cool cars, but I just never really liked the style. As I've gotten older, I really do like the 71, 72, 73 Javelins. I think those are pretty sweet cars. I always thought I think the fenders are really cool on them. I just always thought they were ugly when I was younger. Now that I've gotten older, my tastes have kind of changed. I really like those cars. Or finding a big-ass Matador wagon, that would be kind of cool. Wagons are making a huge comeback right now. I also looked, so what happened was, like, I ended up getting a box of old, like, films and, like, slides and stuff from my family. And I had this really cool picture that I blew up that was my grandpa, my mom's dad, and my mom and her 3 sisters in the back of their 1970 Chrysler Town and Country wagon. And it was a super cool picture. Like, super, super cool picture. Hold on here. Let me see if I can get you guys adjusted here. For some reason, it's not focusing. Hold on here. Let me see if I can... I got a Kleenex here. Let's see if I can lens a little bit. It might be just like how the window's kind of fogging up, but I want to make sure that you guys can see. There you go. Now you can see. But anyways, I found this picture of them and sitting in the back of the wagon in the rear jump seat, and I thought, you know, it would be cool to find a 70, because I like the 70 mainly because, not just because my grandfather had one, but I like the fact of how the Chrysler script is written on the back. But if I could find like a 70 Chrysler Town and Country wagon, that would be freaking sweet. I would love to find like a full-size freaking wagon with like a either a 383 or a 440 in it. I think that would be cool. But wagons are going for big money now too. I don't know, I go through spurts. I go through stuff like, oh man, I would love to have like a sport truck, and then I think like, well, I'd love to have this, but then I think like, oh man, do I really want to tinker with something all the time? Not really. It just depends. I mean, I go through sporadic changes in how I want vehicles and stuff. Oh, an Ambassador? Yeah, with a 360. I don't know. I always said if AMC was around still, I'd probably have like AMC more than Chrysler, in my opinion. I just always liked the underdogs. AMC, I always liked the AMC growing up. My dad had a 79 Jeep Cherokee SJ, and I remember it still had the AMC center caps on it. I don't know, I just always liked the AMC stuff. You know, the whole AMC, like, just everything about AMC was different. It's kind of cool. I mean, I always loved Chrysler stuff more than anything, but I don't know. The way Chrysler's been going, like them being sold off, it was supposedly the merger of equals in '98, which it wasn't. We all know that. But I honestly, if AMC would have been around, I probably would have jumped ship from Chrysler a long time ago and liked AMC stuff. If AMC was still around. Coming up this massive incline right now. I got my foot right down on the floor just to maintain speed. It's like, holy smokes. Didn't look like there was a big hill, but there is. Let's see if I can adjust you guys a little bit. See if that helps the camera a little bit. It's like we got this like really fine mist right now, so that's what you guys are seeing. Who bought out AMC? Chrysler did. In 1987, Lee Iacocca bought AMC for its Jeep division. and they bought everything with it. So they ended up having, you might remember, AMC was in bed at that time because they were so financially strapped with Renault. So they had the Brampton plant up in Ontario. They were building brand new Renaults as they were going to build them as AMCs. They ended up rebadging them as Chrysler products. They were Dodge, the Dodge Monaco and stuff like that. And the Eagle, what was the Eagle version? It was the Eagle, not the Summit, Premier, the Eagle Premier. One thing I got to do on the way back is I got to stop at Jungle Jim's. I'm going to stop at this grocery store that's down here in Cincinnati, and I got to pick up some stuff for the kids. That place is massive. It's the world's largest grocery store. It's freaking crazy. They I went there with the family like 2 years ago when we were going to Kentucky, and it was pretty awesome. So I want to go there again, and I want to get some fun stuff for the kids. They got like all different types of flavors of pops and stuff, which is really cool. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to kind of drive back too, because there's a lot of cool stuff on the way back, like Buc-ee's and all that stuff, where with Christmas coming, a lot of people like that stuff. In Michigan, we don't have a Buc-ee's or anything like that, so kind of have some fun kind of exploring. Lady has a stuffed animal on her dash. I thought she had a cat on her dash in this Malibu. It's like, what the heck? I had to do a double take. Oh, your dad worked in Kenosha? Yeah. You know what's funny is I live like probably, what, 3 miles from AMC's headquarters when they moved to Southfield, Michigan. At the American Center. It's still there. It's the biggest building in Southfield. I was there a couple weeks ago driving around the parking lot. I'll have to do a video on that. I want to try to get this channel doing a little more like this historical stuff too, not just like the latest Mopar news. The problem is like stuff. I got a lot of people who have reached out to me if I would do like interviews and stuff like that. I've been debating on it. It's just finding time to do it all. I wish this mist would stop. It gets all like misty all of a sudden, quick. Well, it's better than snow that we were going through earlier. Just trying to see how far I got 2 different navigations going. I got the TomTom system with, I'm coming into greater Cincinnati right now. So I got the TomTom system going. Right now I'm trying to scroll back so I can see what the heck's going on. So I got TomTom going, and then I have my my Google Maps is what I use. So we're just getting into greater Cincinnati right now. So this is Hamilton here. And then we got a couple other towns like the suburbs, and we'll be in Cincinnati. And then as soon as we're out of Cincinnati, we're in Kentucky. So like there's Cincinnati Children's Hospital. So we're making pretty good time. I've actually picked up about 10 minutes over the last hour of just driving, so it's not too bad. Problem is Ohio has a really low speed limit, so it's like some parts are at 70, but everywhere around like big cities it's like either 60 or 65. But today's Sunday, so it's not like there's a huge amount of people out. At least I've been on the road since 5:30 this morning, so it's supposed to be a 8-hour drive to where I'm going. So I'm just under 2 hours away from Buc-ee's in Richmond, Kentucky, and then from that point on, I have 2 hours to drive to Knoxville, Tennessee. So, but yeah, we actually, like, as soon as the sun was starting to rise this morning, we had a massive snowstorm. Got through that, and then it was like all of a sudden within a mile, it went from having a massive snowstorm to like no snow at all, just rain. And now we're starting to see the rain is kind of letting up. You can see the clouds up above. It's really overcast, but just south of us, like towards Kentucky, there really isn't. There's like big fluffy white clouds. Hopefully we'll break into some actual sunlight. And the cool thing is now that I'm going farther south, like I was complaining, like, oh yeah, the colors. You know, I wish this trip was 2 weeks earlier. The colors down here are about a week behind where we are in Michigan. So like there's still some vivid reds. You can see on the tree line there's still some oranges and stuff like that. This is how the trees looked down, like up by us about a week ago. So they're actually about a week behind where we are with the colors. Everything up by my house now is starting to brown and the leaves are falling off everything. And there's Cincinnati. I can see Cincinnati coming up here. It says police are ahead. It says they're here. I don't see them. Unless they're up on the hill over here. They're not there. But yeah, this is a pretty drive. Ohio's very pretty. It's just kind of boring because it's mostly farms. There's nothing really to look at, but 75 is not a bad ride going across. Like I said, the clouds are starting to lift up. You can see like the edge of the clouds. What's the top selling vehicle currently? Curious. Are you talking about just for Chrysler Group vehicles? Because the number one selling vehicle in the US right now would be, ultimately it's pretty close between the Ram 1500 and the Jeep Grand Cherokee. So Ram 1500 sales have picked up though since the reintroduction of the HEMI. So here's Westchester, Ohio. There's a Top Golf over there, I can tell because of the massive freaking netting around it. Oh, there's a cop there with a Charger cop car. There's IKEA. It says there's a cop up here too. I do not see it. Must have been that cop sitting here in the median that busted that guy. So we're not that far from Kentucky. We're probably, what, I would say 5 minutes from downtown. And then as soon as we cross Cincinnati, we're in Kentucky. So we're only about 5-6 minutes from the Kentucky border. So not too bad. To Kentucky, just like the shift of industry. Oh, holy smokes, those bushes are bright red. Yeah, the colors down here are really vivid compared to where they are up by me now. So maybe this will be a fun event. Maybe going through the mountains and stuff will be kind of fun. One thing I have to say about the Durango is one thing they need to do is make better seats in this thing. I'm a big guy, but the seats, like, you can tell the seat design is old. Compared to like my Charger Daytona, man, my Charger Daytona has some of the most comfortable seats I've ever sat in. These things, like, you can feel the frames through the seats in them sometimes. It's like, oh, like they're just not, I don't know. The way that the actual butt part is kind of stiff. It'd be a lot easier if it was a more comfortable seat to sit in for long distances. You gotta remember, this is an RT too, so it's got like the bucket seats with the bolsters in them. The bolsters are fine. It's just the bottom of the seats that aren't that comfortable. Like, you have to kind of like stretch out a little bit, sprawl out a little while. Check out this overpass here. It said Ohio has really ornate overpasses. Look at this thing. It's got two massive pillars on each side of the road. The village of Evandale. It's pretty wild. Once we get out of Cincinnati, there should be a lot of trees and stuff, so hopefully we see a lot more colors. Oh, let me see here. You bought a pad off at Amazon? Yeah, I could do that, but I don't know. Is it that much better? I don't know. It's just that, I don't know, the seat design kind of like sucks. I think it's just like, if you sat in a new Dodge Charger and sat in the seats, I have what they call like the high back performance seats. They are so comfortable. They're probably the most comfortable seat I've ever sat in. Like, there's so much cushion in the bottoms of them and the backs. Like, they're just super comfortable. With the Durango, I mean, it's fine for driving, but I've been driving for over 3 hours now, and it's like, this isn't a vehicle. Like, I'm one of those people, like, when I get in a car, unlike my family and stuff, my family likes to stop all the time. When I get into a car, I want to just get there. I want to drive. I try to make it the least amount of stops as possible just to get through, and it's just hard to do it with this. That used to be an old FCA trailer. Dodge graphics and stuff are wiped off of it. Gilbert's one. Alright. The Ronald Reagan Highway. Okay, so we're in Arlington Heights, so we're getting really close to downtown Cincinnati now. The nice thing is the rain stopped. Now we're officially in Cincinnati right here. So this is the actual city limits. The one thing about Cincinnati, every single time I come here, there's always massive road construction. Always. It never seems to change. No matter how many times I've come here, it's always road construction. It's kind of like it should be in Michigan. Oh, we're going to two different areas here. It's a really tight lane, holy smokes. Here we go, look at the bridge. Cincinnati. I might end up stopping somewhere, like stopping at McDonald's or something, go to the bathroom real quick. Just to get out and stretch my legs for a second. Somebody blew a tire right there, right in this little deep lane. Now we're gonna merge back into traffic. There we go. Bunch of tires, holy smokes. Front fascia. Shoot, if we were collecting car parts, we could probably build a whole car. Cincinnati Zoo. Xavier University. You know what's amazing is almost every billboard along the highway here has been tagged in some kind of way. A lot of graffiti through here. Sorry, I'm not looking at the chat right now. I'm just trying to get through traffic here because it's like all merging back and forth. Now, that's a pretty badass ride, that motorhome right there. That's what I'd like to do. Have an RV with a car pulled behind it. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Goals. As soon as we're through this, we'll when we get into Kentucky, I'll start looking at the chat again. I just want to get through this stuff because with all the construction coming up and stuff, I want to get through Cincinnati first. University of Cincinnati, Cincinnati State College. Alright, we're only, this is exit 3, so we're only like 3 miles from the border. Almost to Kentucky. Let's see.